Progressive Tally Report Consolidated. 5,890 polling places of a total of 5,890 polling places, constituting 100%. Alperton Junior Edward W. GDM, votes obtained 40,271, constituting 2.20%. Boyka Joseph N. UP, votes obtained 796,961, constituting 43.44%. Brown Junior Allen R. LRP, votes obtained 15,607, constituting 0.85%. Cummings Alexander B. CPP, votes obtained 29,613, constituting 1.61%. Fremont Simeon CM MPC, votes obtained 13,205, constituting 0.72%. Gonglo Tiawanse LPP, votes obtained 26,394, constituting 1.44%. Kamara Senior Lucini F. Alcop, votes obtained 35,988, constituting 1.96%.
The reason why we ink before you cast your vote, because when you cast your vote, that's the last aspect of the process, and you have to leave the center. And the time you would take to drop your ballot into the ballot box, the ink have dry. And when the ink dry, it's a situation that indeed you have voted. And the staff will monitor you while you are putting your ballot into the ballot box. Now the issue that you want to raise would be the stain. The stain will not affect the mark that person has placed on the ballot paper.
Article 83B of the Constitution of Liberia requires that for any presidential ticket to win outright on the first ballot, that ticket must acquire at least 50% plus one of the valid votes cast. Article 83B further states that where no presidential ticket obtains at least 50% plus one, the two presidential tickets that receive the highest number of valid votes shall participate in a runoff election to be held on the second Tuesday following the expiration of the time provided for in Article 83C. And if you say whether this election is fair, I would say by the actions that we took to make corrections as we're going on, and the fact that we brought those problems to you and the Liberian people and told you what corrective measures we put in place to address the different challenges that we had, I would say to you that the 2023 10th October elections were fair elections. Having completed the nationwide tally of votes with 100% of all polling places reporting, the following is the final presidential election outcome, which I now read. National Presidential Progressive Tally Report Consolidated. 5,890 polling places of a total of 5,890 polling places, constituting 100%. Alperton Junior Edward W. GDM, votes obtained 40,271, constituting 2.20%. Boyka Joseph N. UP, votes obtained 796,961, constituting 43.44%.
So the state, we communicate that as a party. We want to be categorically clear as a party, not just we are religious people in this country. We do not support no act of abortion in this country.
Don't trouble nothing too much, you know. One, two, three, loving you. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I love you. I'm missing you. I want you back. Long time no see. Out your love, I'm lonely. I miss you. And it's too hard to bear. What have you done to me? I'm waking up in the middle of the night without you. And it's so unfair. I toss and turn.
Another day again to talk about the issues as they unfold.
Soon awake in the morning.
Today is Thursday, the 26th day of August 2023. Election year in Liberia. The runoff campaign is on. So we talk the issues around there. Thank you so very much that you made Voice of Liberia Bits and Pieces a part of your afternoon. Can appreciate you the more. Follow us on Voice of Liberia 104.1 Monrovia, Voice of Liberia Kakata Magibi County 89.7, and Voice of Liberia Bong 90.7. Also on the online radio, www.voiceofliberiaradio.com, and Facebook. Just put in the search box Voice of Liberia and you are live. Thank you so very kindly that you made us a part of your itinerary. My name is Sam Andrews.
You and me, and how great we used to be. Yeah. And I firmly believe the dream of turning all these dreams into reality. And like a child, I would say it's so easy to you. 1, 2, 3, I love you. 4, 5, 6, I miss you. I want you back. 1, 2, 3, I love you. 4, 5, 6, I'm missing you. I want you back.
So let's begin with the first issue we've got to talk about. The first bit. President George Weah was at his party's headquarters on Wednesday to not only tell partisans thank you, as we say in Liberian parlance, for giving him the support, turning out in large numbers, standing for several hours, demonstrating their commitment to the party, their loyalty to him and their country, but also that he will share additional light and assure them, and then moving further to rally them in a renewed vigor as they are campaigning for the second or the runoff. He is opting for re-election. So he was at the party's headquarters yesterday, as it was announced by his office. And he touched on a number of issues, realizing that much more still needs to be done, and that the people must see the need. And this cuts across, in his words, everybody. So let's bring you bits and pieces of what he said on Wednesday, which was the 25th. He will firstly praise the people of Liberia, his countrymen and women, for the peaceful manner they conducted themselves during the poll on October 10th. He said the mammoth turnout and peaceful participation in the elections added remarkable feathers restore and solidify the country's democracy. He acknowledged that such a peaceful and orderly conduct of the elections epitomizes Liberians' dedication to democracy, while terming the exercise of their right as a testimony to the strength of the republic. On the issues concerning the country and partisans, he commended the National Elections Commission for what he calls its tireless efforts in successfully implementing this massive democratic endeavor in a peaceful, credible, fair, and transparent manner. He recognized the role of partners, both local and international, appreciating them for the sacrifices they made. He said their presence and support underscores the importance of these elections not only to Liberians but to the world. He went further to say, judging from the success of the October 10th poll, which is almost single handedly funded by his government, he appealed to Liberians to continuously ensure that the peace of Liberia was sustained while at the same time solidifying the country's democracy. On policy actions, he's used his time there to recommit himself to the responsibility of making Liberia better by tackling those huge challenges that are weighing on the country or weighing the country down. He said, I should quote him verbatim, during the campaign period, I had the privilege of visiting your towns and villages, listening to your concerns, and experiencing the challenges you face, despite the many developmental activities we have already undertaken. And then he will pledge his readiness to continue working tirelessly if granted a second opportunity or a second 6 years to better the lives of the people. He said, I should quote him again, I have heard you. I have heard your voices. My administration has worked tirelessly to improve the lives and development of our beloved country. While we acknowledged that there is more work to be done, let us not forget the progress we have made. He assured Liberians that he understood their desire for more development and would not rest content in ensuring that what is needed to be done will be done. He said to every Liberian whose vote we may not have gotten and all other stakeholders in the country, let me also thank you for your contribution to the growth of our democracy and assure you of my unwavering resolve to build a prosperous nation for all, regardless of political, social, or religious affiliations. He will extend his hand of friendship on yesterday to all Liberians, hoping that they will understand that this government has done more in a short period of time, and as such, wants them to join him together to continue the path of development. He went further to say that his next term will be dedicated to completing Liberia's road infrastructure, making sure to fulfill the pledge of ensuring the country's capital is connected to every nearby county through fully paved roads. He announced that his government will continue to grow the economy in order to provide more jobs for Liberians, including creating jobs in the small and medium enterprise sectors and in key sectors like agriculture and manufacturing. He said, we will expand the capacity of the Liberia Electricity Corporation to reach more homes while enhancing industrialization and the creation of jobs. He went further to say, having reconstituted the Liberian Anti-Corruption Commission which now has 7 independent commissioners. We will accelerate efforts to fight corruption and ensure accountability across government. The new LHCC, the president said, has already been given unprecedented powers, will have full backing to independently fight waste, fraud, and abuse of public resources. He said, we will similarly continue to empower every integrity institution, including the IAA, Internal Revenue Authority, and the LACC, while making sure that they work together to move the fight against corruption to a new level. He went further to assure in his address Liberians that he will also double efforts to address concerns about livelihood, employment conditions of civil servants, and youth employment. As a start, he said, we will re examine the Beach and Waterways Program and bring it back under the supervision of the Liberia Maritime Authority. This is intended to abolish the ad hoc approach that has affected this crucial program, which is a source of income for thousands of young people. He said his government has, at its inception 5 years ago, increased the salary of medical doctors, but did not extend it to all of the public sector workers, including clinical health workers, mainly nurses, midwives, physician assistants, lab technicians, the security sector, and teachers, among others, due to budgetary constraints. But he will pledge to effect appropriate cross-cutting increments in order to impact every sector worker performing critical service, including those in the security, education, health, as well as other sectors, with a view of ensuring improved working conditions so that every salary or wages commensurate with prevailing economic conditions. He said, we also intend to accelerate efforts to ensure traditional leaders are all added to the government payroll. And then, what other thing he said? He announced the end of voluntary workers programs both in the health and education sectors, declaring that all health workers and teachers currently volunteering will be placed on the payroll beginning January 2024. All those who were not on the payroll but volunteer or are volunteering, according to him, they, as of the 24th year or 2024, next year, they will no longer volunteer. Instead, they will take pay. They will be on the payroll. He went further to say that we have placed thousands of voluntary teachers on the payroll, and next year, my government commits to placing the remaining volunteer teachers on public wage. By 2024, my government further commits to hiring additional teachers to continue to close the teaching gap or the teacher gap. That the government continues its policy of subsidizing public schools and will also subsidize the payment of registration and graduation fees for all students. Verbatim, we shall also ensure that the WASS fees payment is made perpetual by pushing through with a new legislation and explore our tuition-free policies for grades 1 in all public schools, grade 1 to 6 in all public schools, in addition to the implementation of our campaign promise of establishing a nationwide cadet program for young graduates. What other things did he say? That, let me get my bits and pieces right. He said the government will pay for the policy changes, while disclosing that the government over the past 5 years has increased domestic revenue by more than 120 million United States dollars, out of which the government was able to finance the 2023 elections, which cost 53 million United States dollars. Considering that we will not have another election until 6 years from now, we can use some of the increase to enhance the welfare of public sector workers in health, education, as well as security sector with the aim of improving living conditions. And then he went further to say that the 2023 elections are about young people and that this second term will be delivered to those young people. That what he's simply saying, that he put his last 6 years, if he's elected, if he got it, it will be at the feet of the young people. What that means is more emphasis will be placed on the development of young people, improving their livelihood. The 2023 elections are about young people, and that his second term will be delivered for those young people to work harder so that they can have the Liberian they dream about. I remain confident in his words to our ability to lead Liberia into a brighter future. With your support, we can finish what we've started and continue building a stronger, more prosperous nation. I look forward to seeing you again on the campaign trail, where we will join hands and hearts in the spirit of unity and progress. In President Weah's address to partisans yesterday, he also acknowledged how Liberia has become a long way with a promising future ahead, appealing to Liberians for a second term opportunity to build on progress made and to address the challenges and make Liberia an even greater country in the coming years. And then he will turn to seditions and independent voters directly. He said, the time to thank his supporters for their unwavering support, which has brought the party to the forefront of Liberian politics. Verbatim, today, all together, you have made CDC the most potent and popular political force in Liberia. Your gallantry and dedication have been incremental or instrumental throughout our political history. And then he will move on to thank members of the Governing Council, the National Executive Committee, the National Campaign Committee, the Youth and Women Wings, first-time voters, and all auxiliaries. Concluding, he acknowledged his supporters' efforts may not have secured a one-round victory that they talk about, but he was upbeat. He said it propelled them to the forefront of the political landscape and elevated the Coalition for Democratic Change and Seditions to the top position amongst Liberia political competitors. And then he concluded, and now as the process of vote tallying has come to an end, it is clear, I'm quoting him verbatim, it is clear that we are still in a strong position and your support has not gone unnoticed. Your commitment and loyalty to our cause have made us proud. We are now poised for the next step, and we recognize that with our collective effort, we can cross the finish line to victory. Just bits and pieces from President Weah's address to partisans of the Coalition for Democratic Change on yesterday at the party's headquarters. There are a couple of significant lines to pick up in our contextualization. As much as it is campaign time, you expect a grandeur address or addresses from the two people who are in the race, but it's also significant to look at some of the lines that they will raise as they crisscross. President, we are talking about some of these things before, and some of them have already been legislated. And I think the ones that need to be reinforced are the ones that he wants to prioritize, and they are worth prioritizing. If you talk about those volunteer teachers who are volunteer for years, amen. Yeah, you just have to be human. The president couldn't have put it any better. Now, you think that is political, but if you interpret that as being political or rhetorical, well, it does make sense also, whichever way you try to interpret it. Because if people labor, especially without complaining, they enduring tough times in order to get the job done, it's all but fair because it's complementary. As much as the president realized that they are exerting the effort, they too have to have something in their pocket. They can be volunteering throughout their lives. They will have to earn something because that way it will be understood as exploitation. When people labor for you, you may not necessarily, or you may not give them all that you think they ought to have because giving your own constraints too, but you will look at it and say, let me motivate. Now, getting all of those on the payroll or putting them on the payroll, it's a significant move. It's a significant move. For those of you who are going to get on the payroll, you should be excited about that. Well, if I don't think the president is doing that so that you give him your vote in the second round, but recognizing your labor for your country, you've done well, and so you should be compensated so that it motivates you to do more. And then there is the LACC. The LACC will have to look and see how they work in the coming years. They've been given prosecutorial powers. Prosecutorial powers simply means that you don't have to take instruction from a given person before you act, or you don't have to submit your brief or your report and it is assessed and appraised before an instruction or the approval is given. You can determine by your perimeter. You can determine. And this is what all along people have been calling for, that the LACC be given that prosecutorial power like it is in Nigeria and other countries. So I can say much about that because of our setting. So let's see. This time around, if the president going to tackle corruption head on, uncompromising, rigid, then we're going to see as he talked about strengthening those integrity institutions that need to be strengthened, and the LACC with its prosecutorial powers, there wouldn't be any interference, that the LACC will operate without interference. That is good. So we wait to see because of our setting. I am not disagreeing with the president. I am looking at it from our setting because this country, everybody is related. Everybody knows everybody. This country, we are sympathetic of people. So most of the time, sympathy will evade justice. Most of the time, sympathy will circumvent justice. We have seen it over the years. It's one of the things that has affected our country. So the LHCC, because you can have prosecutorial power, you can be independent or autonomous. Once the culture doesn't favor it, you are toothless Buddha. But who in this situation can make sure that the LACC is can operate within that latitude it has? The very government. The very government. So the president is right to re-strengthen. Now that it has been restructured, you got, I think, 6 persons and they got prosecutorial powers. Fine. Let's see how it plays out in the coming years. LACC 2 will have to be more robust. They've been crying for such. They got such now legislatively and was signature by the president. So they can now compromise anything. If that situation warrant prosecution, let it be. If it warrant restitution, let it be. Whatever. if it warrants going to jail and a big name is involved, or a relative, even a relative of that commission, or a relative to the president, or a relative to a minister or a legislator, let that person serve the term. That's how you fight corruption. Corruption isn't fought on sympathetic ground. Corruption is fought on uncompromising ground. Corruption isn't fought when you are sympathetic with people and situation. In fact, it will be additional impetus for them to keep corrupting the system. So you have to restrain the beast of corruption within the person, as Aristotle said, because that is the essence of the law. According to Aristotle, the essence of the law is to restrain the beast within the person that leads him to resist the law or to do whatever he or she wants against the country. That's good. So we look forward. These are all significant issues that the people will hold. Let me go back there. He said, we will expand the capacity. We will, having reconstituted the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, which now has 7 independent commissioners, we will accelerate efforts to fight corruption and ensure accountability. Fighting is one, accountability is another. The two are not the same, but they are in the same plane. The accountability cannot come without the resolution to face the reality head on and also uncompromisingly. That is the fight. The accountability is justice should be served. If the law said that the investigation proved that XYZ manipulated, XYZ supported the scheme, XYZ withdrew 10,000, and there is a provision in the law that such person should restitute that 10,000, and the restitution should be done in 10 days. Expiration of the 10 days, the person goes to jail for 6 months. That's the accountability there. When you start to do that, then nobody will manipulate or will tamper with the system. What you will be doing is you will be burying impunity, accelerating efforts to fight corruption and ensure accountability across government. The new LHCC, which has already been given unprecedented or prosecutorial powers, will have my full backing. That's what I told you initially. It can work. All of these things, they sound very good on paper. The LHCC can be toothless bulldog. The LHCC can be a sleeping dog when the head cannot put his feet on the ground. So in the second round, if President Weah wins, this is what he needs to tackle head on. But I don't want to believe that it's going to be as he's saying it. He might make progress around there. You know why? Because this country is not an accountability country. We've heard great speeches, strong words and phrases about clamping down on corruption. But at the close of the day, impunity reigns. I heard of a legislator. I do not know whether he contested this election, and if he contested, whether he won. The man said that corruption has been in this country since 1847. If it cannot be tackled since 1847, that now it will be lawmaker. Can you imagine a legislator saying that? So if LHCC will be the LHCC that everybody had all along envisioned, together with the country's international partners, then the president will have to put his feet to the ground. And this is what he has admitted here. He said, the new LHCC, which has already been given unprecedented powers, will have mine full backing to independently fight waste, fraud, and abuse of public resources. So, one of the things that will make President William administration, if he's re-elected the second round, strong, is this. This is what the country has never ever been able to tackle. No government has ever been able to tackle. President Salif came. She used three different jargons. When she was inaugurated, she made that a priority. She sounded so loud. She said that corruption would be enemy number one, and the entire country went gay for her, excited. With the passage of time, corruption became the normal in President Salif government. And she got criticisms from every sector of the country, including international partners, even the United States government, Liberia's strong ally or partner. What did the American government say? Because corruption was so widespread and rampant and pervasive in the Salif administration, they released a report. And in that report, what did they say? We will not put our money again in any rogue regime hand, referencing former President Ellen Johnson's Salif regime as rogue regime. And then she talked to the microphones and cameras to restate what her government had done in the fight against corruption and the resolution moving forward. But it didn't pay off. The next time she spoke about corruption, what did she say? Corruption was systemic. That means all of the system everywhere was rotting. So she couldn't do anything much more than what she had done. At the close of her regime, again, what did she say? She said corruption was a vampire. She described it as a vampire. And you know what a vampire is? Suck without regret, even to death. So in essence, she was saying that 12 years, I could not, though I boasted from the beginning. Then President Weah came. He said similar things. Over the 6 years, it became so difficult. One of the things that gave his administration hard time is this, coupled with other issues. He realized it. If he didn't realize it, he would not say that now he's putting his feet down to make sure that the LHCC fight corruption head on. He said, the new LHCC, which has already been given unprecedented powers, will have my full backing to independently, no interference whatsoever, independently fight waste, fraud, and abuse of public resources. We will similarly continue to empower every integrity institutions, including the IAA, Internal Audit Agency, and the LHCC, while making sure that they work together to move the fight against corruption to a new level. And then, what's the other thing he talked about? We talk about the teachers, voluntary teachers, getting on the payroll as of 2024. The LHCC, did he talk about LEC? Yes. He said that we will expand the capacity of the Liberia Electricity Corporation to reach more homes while enhancing industrialization and the creation of more jobs. What else he talked about that we put on our bits and pieces pointer? The beach and waterways. Now he wants it to come back under the supervision of the Liberia Maritime Authority. He knows his reason. Okay. So those are some of the key issues. He also wants traditional leaders to be paid, that they should get on the payroll. Traditional leaders, in the president's opinion, as he said on yesterday, should get on government payroll, that they are government employees doing government work, they are in public service. Why they shouldn't be paid? They should be on the payroll like any other employee of government. They are independent, they are not autonomous, but rather they work for the government, and therefore they must be paid. So those are some of the bits and pieces on bits and pieces. Voice of Liberia 104.1 Morovia, Voice of Liberia Magibi County, Kakata 89.7, Voice of Liberia Bong 90.7. You can get us in Bong County now. That setup is finished. That setup is finished. The intent is to set up Voice of Liberia, or that Voice of Liberia is heard in the 15 counties, not by repeaters, but radio station. If you went to Bong now, you can sit in the studio as I'm sitting to broadcast. It is not by repeater. No. If you went in Kakata, Magibi County, you can ask for Voice of Liberia 89.7. You move to the radio station, you sit in, and you broadcast, or you state your position. So it's not by repeater. Very shortly, the other counties will be on. You can also follow our broadcast on the online radio, www.voiceofliberiaradio.com. So the next bit we got to talk about is Buffer Chambers. I say Buffer Chambers because he has been defeated, so he isn't representative again. He isn't speaker. He filed a protest. Yeah, Daniel Kuman, thank you ever so much for your message in. I highlighted that from the president's address. He talked about the free education. Daniel Kuman, thank you ever so much. Yeah, from first to sixth grade. I talk about it in the president's address as one of the bits. So Buffer Chambers is not satisfied with how everything went. He has filed a complaint as provided by the law with the National Elections Commission, the first place. If you're not satisfied with the redress, if you feel that justice isn't served or wasn't served you over there, then you can move to the higher court. But the first place you start, the National Elections Commission. So they were there today. They've been there this week. They were there today. NEC Board of Commissioners sat to hear their complaint. He filed a complaint against the winner that NEC announced, Anthony Williams. Several counts he cited. So he is opting for a rerun. Buffer Chambers is opting for a rerun. He felt cheated in his opinion, and the facts available to him, as his team will argue. Therefore, the National Elections Commission should see the need to do a rerun. And he is convinced that if there is a rerun, it will be seen by NEC and everybody that he won the elections. So they were at the commission today again. So at the close of the hearing, Anthony Williams was there. The first time he didn't go with lawyer. Today he had, I think, 3 or 4 lawyers. I saw 3: D. Anthony Mason, Murphy, and another guy. All of them are representing Anthony Williams. The hearing ended, and I took up time to speak with the lead lawyer, D. Anthony Mason of Success Law Firm. And what he said is the complainant doesn't have substantial evidence, and he isn't convinced that Buffer Chambers is going to win this case. As far as he knows from all of the facts before him and what they have been going through, Buffer Chambers does not have a case. And he will say it bluntly that the former speaker should just move on with his life because he has lost the elections. Here is Anthony Williams' lead lawyer, D. Anthony Mason, from Sources Law Firm.
What we came to do today actually is be far from telling Robert Chima. Basically, it's small grounds that some irregularities ranging from schooling agents that being in the building or being thrown out of the building, which he asking the board of commissioners to review. Initially, he had asked the board of commissioners to remand the case for continuation of trial by way of a motion, but that motion was denied. So we went through the data of session that the commission reserved ruling. They not even have a prayer for which he wanted the commission to act. The commission has reserved ruling to be determined at another date.
How do you see those claims?
I represent the athlete, so normally I would tell you that they were very flimsy. They're no strong claim. I mean, if you want to come on a few of such nature, that we should be surrounded by maybe issue concerning the ballot stuffing, legal ballots. Those things are claims that you should bring to the commission, but you're talking about. They didn't even name the people. When they say an old man was in the room, who's that old man? We don't know his name. Very flimsy issues. How people thrown out of the room. That is completely false. You know, we went through 3 elections. We went through the representative elections. We went through the senatorial elections. Through the presidential election. CDC on he represented. Won two of those. Won the senatorial election, presidential elections. Those same agents were the ones placed in the polling stations. These polling same agents certified to election results. So to come and say your polling agents were not there in terms of way of finding, struggling to find a means to maybe have a return of the vote or something, but it wouldn't hold, man. I mean, we never claim ballot stuff. They only claim about people who were not to be in the polling group, who were there. You only claim about elections was never been thrown out of the house. I think you talk about some country devil thing, but those are not serious issues. Any election around the world, you find some little skirmishes here and there, but that does not invalidate the election results. The issue I've been talking about fraud, talk about somebody was there buying water, cold water for the people, so we're buying the cold water, and because they were buying cold water, probably they had influence in the voting. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Anybody can get anybody cold water. I'm not admitting to that, but it doesn't make any sense. That should not be an election issue. Somebody provided cold water to some people on the land, so by that it was like due influence. It doesn't make any sense for them. Buffer lost the elections. And he doesn't want to take it honorably. Sometimes you want the party to be small procedure thinking that it will happen, but it won't happen. Seriously, it won't happen.
There's the suspicion that, given his character, the kind of person he is, he might manipulate the entire hearing, starting from you people who are lawyers, together with other issues. He might induce cash influence. He needs it at all costs.
Some of the things does not really require money. Some of the things just require justice. Papa has been ordered for 18 years. He should be willing to relinquish power. He shouldn't be thinking that such a place, the people were always wanting there. So he lost the election and he should just let it go. There's no amount of cash influence that he can influence me because they want. I'm not even doing this because of the cash. Papa lost, and the character that won, a good young man, and we have to give him an opportunity.
When is the next hearing?
They have not given out a date yet. They were sending an assignment.
You confident? You sure you're going to win?
Very confident. Very confident. If Papa had a case, he would be thinking about how to go back to hear it. But Papa doesn't have it. You cannot tell people, say somebody bought cold water for somebody so that person influence the election result. I mean, it doesn't make sense.
Anthony Williams, the winner of Maryland County election lawyer, D. Anthony Mason, today at the National Elections Commission. You hear him that NEC will notify them. So they did not tell them that the next hearing is this. They notify them and they will assemble. But here is it. To put that in context, we cannot say that Buffer Chambers doesn't have or his evidence or his bits and pieces are not substantial, that they cannot be adduced, that he isn't telling the truth. And as you say this, because he said that off air before we started the interview, he said uh, there wasn't anything like ballot stuffing. Now, what people are writing in the newspaper, because he said he read some of the newspapers and he's saying ballot stuffing. The Buffer Chambers did not put in his claim ballot stuffing, but rather country devil, people running, water, all those small things. So we cannot say that all that he presented aren't factual. In his opinion and the opinion of his legal team, they are factual, they are substantive, they are weighty, and they are convincing for a rerun. That's the first thing. Secondly, given what I've heard, because we talk for a good while and he is a good lawyer, very reasonable. We talk for a while. He explains some legal things. He explains some things, how it goes in the legal process. You know, they have some great lawyers. There are some great lawyers in this country. Some will just go, oh, no, 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 no. Oh. Yeah." But the Mason took his time up. We talk off air. We talked before the interview started because he was coming out. And when I introduced myself, I told him, what is it? And he consented and said that we should get off. Sorry, though, the what you heard in the background, we came outside because he too was trying to avoid the noise in the hall. But then we thought we are going to a comfortable area and the breeze also. That's what you heard. There is this fellow that was facing his car, knocking. So he explained some things, allowed me to see reason before we started to talk. And I asked him, given all that the man placed before you people, are they not weighted? They don't make sense. You as a lawyer, you've been handling major cases. So, and then he went on to explain a lot and said, Sam, these things, some of these things I'm explaining to you will be said in the interview. But I just want you to get a little tutorial so that you know how to do your broadcast. This whole thing that the man presented, they are not strong enough. And I can show you before we start the interview, he's talking to me. I can show you that at the close of the day, it will be ruled or the ruling will go against him. Now, I cannot say, given what he said to me, that, oh, yes, it is true. It is also possible that Nick can say in the judicial reasoning, because you have legal people on the team, that this is evident, this is strong. We can look into this. And in fact, just one fact can open a whole new situation. We saw it in previous elections when we thought that this person, the claim against this person or claims weren't strong enough. So the person was at the verge, or NEC was at the verge of ruling in favor of that person. Something popped up. And that which popped up, it blew the entire investigation or it took it to a new level. And at the close of the day, that person who filed the complaint got it, and then confusion. So we can rule that up also. But since he is a lawyer, he's convinced. That's why I asked him, are you confident? All of those questions, all of those things were discussed off air. Good lawyer, he took up time. He didn't rush to start talking like other people would do. He said, no, let's talk off air. Then when we're ready, so that we know how we're moving with the interview. And that was good. That was very good on his part. That's what you do. So the third thing here is Buffer Chambers will realize or have to realize that he lost. Because those claims may not be strong enough or they may be strong. But the first thing, admit that you lost. Admit that you lost the elections. Going in, because the lawyer said one of the claims was that people were going in with water. He giving people water, that he suspected that people were giving water to drink. That people were running the herd of country devil. So they ran. People running, it doesn't say those people who are running or who did run are or were Buffer Chambers members. It wasn't written on their faces, Buffer Chambers voters, but rather Liberians in the queue. So those people who ran because of what they heard were people of all the people who contested. All the people who contested. It wasn't only Buffer Chambers people, but everybody. If something happens down the road from where we are and people start to run, there wouldn't be any description to say, oh yeah, specific people. No, they say the people running, Liberians running, people running. So it was Anthony Taylor people, Buffer Chambers, and all the rest of the people who contested that district. So you can use it as a substantive claim. When people running, everybody running. Everybody running. It wasn't only his people who ran or who were terrorized or who were made scared to move. The people did not know. They did not know Buffer Chambers supporters from Anthony Williams supporters and the other people supporters. Rather, people were at the polling places to cast their ballots. So if something happened, like they claim Country Devil came outside, the Country Devil wasn't Anthony Williams' devil. We've heard in other areas that Country Devil came out. This is not the first time. We've heard that many times. So it can be. We had the situation from Waterside. Somebody said the people were fighting and everybody started running. So could you say it was specific individuals who were moving? No. When people hear of something, they get panic. And that panic will lead them to moving into safety wherever they can find safe haven. They're moving in. Everybody. Nobody wants to stay in a place that is perceived to be insecure or something is about to happen, and they will stay there and embrace it against their own lives. No one will want to do that. So when they hear of such, they move. So the former representative and former speaker cannot capitalize on that. Tell it. If this former speaker had done his work, he would have been re-elected. I think the former speaker didn't do much. There is one thing having the power and the money. There's another thing moving to your people. And there's another thing sitting complicit with this illusion that you are a big man, you got the money, time is in your favor, you can move in anytime. There's another thing also when you have the money, you ought to do for your people. You ought to put some, what's the word the people always using in the political assembly? Tangibles. You ought to put some tangibles down. That means structures that the people can see. From 2020, I started saying this thing from 2020. I saw it coming. We listen to people a lot. We hear them speak. We go to gatherings. We listen to a lot more. what the people started to say from 2020, that we weren't fooled. We were fooled in past elections. The people fooled us. They were giving us back or rest money. When we elect them, they sit down there, they turn the back on us. So we get sense now. This time we want rest, we want money. When they demonstrated that, they experimented the idea with the election that brought President Weah to power. The people were saying they abandoned us. When we elect the people, they can turn it back on because they get all back or rent, they get all money. So they think with that kind of people. But all of those people who turned their back on us, all of those people who abandoned us, all the lawmakers then, they will not go back. The people were overlooking it. We said, my people, you're listening to the people. They have the vote, they get the power. You're listening to them. Most of those legislators, they saw it as noisy minority, like Ellen said in her government. They saw those people as noisy minority. They had no time. They felt that, oh yes, when the time comes, they will give the people bags of rice the same way money. And what happened? The people stuck to their decision, their resolution. When the time came, you have many of those who were in the legislature exiting. What did we see? New faces: Hassan Kazolu, Francis Dopo, Dixon Sibo, Rostalin Dennis, and on we can go. Majority of those people led by Gue, what they call the other guy, a couple of them. Last minute of time, they started building bridges. They started repairing roads. They started doing a lot more. But the people had already made their decision, and all of them, or majority of them went out. Only few remain in that legislature. The few that remain, they learned sense and started to do for their people. Though complacency set in along the way. So some of them weren't re-elected. Buffer Chambers would not do much. What did the men do? The old politics, what I just talked about, the men went with it like the people were so freak. The men carried cartoons of money. Money, that's what the men were using. Cartoons. And the people felt, oh, so the man here now, he just feel that we ain't get sense again. He just feel that with people to use. We show the man. Our son who were up, even if our son ain't do much for us, but our son who is with us, we're putting there. If we try him, let's try him. So Buffer Chimons will move. Instead of moving by road, Buffer Chimons will go the civilized way. I'm telling you what led to his defeat. One, he didn't do much there. He sat down here, he was complacent, he was relaxed. Two, he waited last minute of time, he went there with money. Cartoons of liberty to people. So all of these claims, they are not substantive enough. Had he done his work and done his work well, he would have gotten the support of the people. It doesn't say a big man cannot go and sit down with a town crier. It doesn't say that it is demeaning for a big man to sit down with women under the palava hut or under the trash, or how they call it, tashin, and eat with them. Jesus wanted to get certain things done. What did he do? He sat down with those we call ordinary people today, even though I don't like that expression. He sat down with them. He ate with them. He communed with them. He lectured with them. That's how you get the people. It's not so much the money that you give to people. It's how you put yourself into them. It's how you feel, how you empathize with them. It's not so much of the cash that you give to people. That's the wrong concept, or that's what most people do. And when they get it, say, oh, the people against me, the people against me. Some of those people who got elected, they sat with people. Buffer Chambers felt that he was, during the elections, he too aristocratic, too bourgeois. Moreover, the people freak. So he carried cartoon of money to the people. Those of you who in such act or who have done it before, you stop. Do for the people. Let your people look back over their lives and say, yes, this is what this representative has done. This is what our representative did. This is what this man continues to do. This 2023 election, we will re-elect that man. This is what our lawmaker did. This 2022 we will re-elect her. Our lawmaker can come here in the county and sit down with us. Representative-elect Francis Dopo, his second term. What Francis Dopo does, he goes in River G. He takes up time and go and meet with the people, assess some of the works that he's initiating there from his office. Talk with the people, know their condition. And then after that, he comes back to town to move to the legislature to advocate on their behalf. Why did the people re-elect Representative Francis or re-elect Francis Dopo? Why? Francis Dopo did not carry money to them, dishing out money to them, but he puts himself in the condition of the people. It is not the money that you give. It's not how many dollars that you give to people. It's how you can empathize, how you can put yourself in the shoe, what they're going through, and what you can do. You know why God bless people? You know why God take people to positions? So that you'll be able to help other people. So that you'll be able to help. Now, let me use my boss man as a classic example. All of the radio stations that Sekou Sheriff is setting up in various counties, we are in there. That people, Mangibi, you have Liberians there who are managing it. What happened? Those people were sitting. Now they have job. Then you have Bonk, and then you're going to have the various counties. Isn't that a legacy? Isn't that impact? That's how you touch people's lives. It is not the money so much that you give to people, but what you can do that the people can look at and say, yes, it is what is referred to as legacy. People are elected based on their legacy. People are elected based on your legacy. People don't elect you because you gave them money. Emmanuel Dan did not give the people money every day in West Point. No. What did the people say? That Emmanuel Dan did this for them. Emmanuel Dan did this for them. So all of them, or in the majority, result. And there are several individuals we can go to that I know based on the work. They did not put much money, but they put more effort. So if they came and they say, oh, you're running, you want to be there, but we ain't get him from yet. That man said, but I get 2,000 US in my horse. Let me take 1,000 from there and pay hemp from these people. So 1,000, the people get hand pump. Then the man come and say, but I'm running. Lepo say, but you get our hand pump. You get our water. We never had it here. We should be throwing water on our head. The other men who are here, the men do nothing. So we carrying you. They putting one money. That issue-based campaign, you have to run. The people were curious. That's why you heard the word repeatedly, tangibles. Baba Chimas did absolutely, in my opinion, nothing. The last thing within this contextualization, why Baba Chimas is fighting is this. Baba Chimas doesn't want to lose his integrity. But for Chimot, the only position, if the ruling goes against him, not only will it be a shame, but the only position he can handle in this country now is ambassadorial. Given the level at which he served, he can come down. He can come down to a ministerial position. He can come down to even advisor position. Probably that could save his reputation politically. But some kind of way, those guys in the house will find some kind of means to pull him over. If he accepts ministerial position, he's going to be called to the legislature many days, and how he treated his colleagues, some of them will want to treat him the same way, and he wouldn't want that. He wants to be in that position still. You know, when you are way up and then you come down, you know, it's embarrassing. Where you were going? Where you were going? And then on top of it, 18 years in the legislature. 18 years, my people. 18 years. Check from 1 to 18. 24 hours make a day. 7 days a week. 30 days, 31 days, 29 days make a month. 12 months make a year. Do the mathematics, put all together. What time that you did not have that you still want to have to be there? The same people when they hear of other people in other countries don't want to leave power, staying in power for 33 years, they will criticize. Oh, I can see why. God. So the people say power sweet. That's true. Power really sweet. 18 years, my people, 18 years, that's a long time. And you serve your country for 18 years. If you lost in an election, it just means the people tired. The people kept you there for 18 years. The same people now saying, let's give another person a chance. We kept you for 18 years. Let it be rotational. You served 18 years, gave another person a chance. Is it bad? Why you want to be there for another 6 years? Why? Eh? Why you want to be there for another 6 years? You stay there for 18 years. 18. You want to go there for another 6 years. So it will be 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. You should stay in power 24 years. Why are you carrying all those things? Stay in power 24 years or 30 years. It's not glory. It is not honor. Earth will praise you. They will exalt you. But beyond that, it finished. When you serve, then you leave. That is why I love this philosophical maxim. And hear what it says, or this is how it goes. Get in, get it done right, and get out. Put your hands up and say, I've played my part. I have done what I needed to do by my elevation to this office. The legacies are there. Hence, I'm off. You don't want to be in a place perpetually as if it is your place. There are people who lost elections here. They left. Bezonga Fine lost the election in our legislature. He didn't say anything. He sat down. While other people, several individuals, before President Weah came to power, they lost elections. They sat down for 6 years. Some of the guys who are back into the legislature, they lost elections. Tyler, all of those people, they lost elections. They sat down. They could have raised qualms. They could have come up with some reservations. They could have taken complaints. But they accepted defeat graciously and used the time to prepare. And that preparation now gave them re-entry or entry into the legislature 2023. Akara's great. Nobody felt Akaras Gray was going to accept the results when it was announced. People felt that Akaras Gray was going to run to the National Elections Commission to cry cheap. But instead, what did Akaras Gray do? He faced the cameras and the microphones to say that I graciously accept that I lost the elections. Hence, the winner, Prince Toll, I congratulate him and I call on my supporters. As a matter of fact, Akaras could rally. He could muster some things. He could put some things together and go to the National Elections Commission and challenge a head on and to be there and be dragging. But consciously, he knows that he did what he did in terms of preparation. He ran a good campaign, but the people made their decision. And the decision did not favor him. So what did he do? He's off. Did Akaras run to the National Elections Commission? No. Once you see that the election, you lost the election, don't bring up any shenanigans. This is not to say that you can be cheated in an elections. No. It's not to say that you can be cheated. It's not to say that other things can happen around balloting. It can be. It's not to say either that NEC can make mistake. NEC have admitted to some mistakes along the way. It's not to say either that you cannot move to the National Elections Commission with substantial evidence that NEC would not call for a rerun. But when you have reached the point, the realization that truly you lost these elections, don't come up with shenanigans. That is why the lawyer said that all that man saying, put all on the table. Nothing there is substantial enough. I am a lawyer. I've been in this business for almost 30 years. If Buffer Chima had a substantial claim, I am telling you now what he said in depth before we start the interview. He said that if Buffer Chima had substantial evidence, I would have given you a hint that one, the case is going to be tough. Two, it is likely that we win. It is likely that we wouldn't win it. But I am telling you that nothing substantial, nothing absolutely substantial. And we are confident of winning this case, and we will win it, and you will hear it, and you will carry it back on your radio station. We have to move on. When you lost, you lost. Don't develop. If there are claims, if there are substantial prima facie evidence, weighted enough, we say yes. But when you lost, you lost. You lost the elections. 18 years, man. 18 years. Why you criticized? People in other countries. I think a couple of months ago, one other guy, one of the African president, 33 years in. 33, I just forgetting Omar Bongo, his family, 33 years. Liberians were all over this place. Liberian politicians, they were all over this place criticizing, condemning the man's ego and other people to hold on to power. That's the same thing. You see the irony. That is why it's not good to criticize people, because the whole thing of core ego is in everybody. When you are not there, when it is not you, you have a lot more to say. But when it is happening to you or against you, then 18 years, man, 18 years. Yeah, Vani Sherman there. Vani Sherman said the people are ungrateful. Vani Sherman could come up with a number of things and move to the National Elections Commission to challenge and possibly go to the Supreme Court. Vani Sherman is one of the best lawyers in our country, one of the best legal luminaries. Very renowned, in depth with the law, very philosophical and legal. He could come up with a number of things. They know their legal persuasions. But Vani Sherman looked into it and realized that nothing yet. The election year I lost it. The people ain't want me. They elected me, but this time around, they say they're tired with me. So I go, Vani Sherman washing hands. You can hear Vani Sherman talking about anything. He finished. He has his law firm. He has a number of businesses. He has other things that he can concentrate on. As a matter of fact, I think he served well. He's convinced. So he can sit down in his private life and move on with his family, enjoy family life, enjoy good life, and serve as consultants as he had been all along. You can be in one place all of the time and you alone should be there. No, it can't be. You lost the elections, go and sit down. If you do have a substantial weight, a prima facie evidence, all of us will understand. So by the hearing, because NEC opened the hearing, you can go to the hearing. It's not a closed door. The only thing you can do, according to the chairman of the National Elections Commission, you can recall. Just like you go to the court allows you to watch the proceedings, but you can recall. So it is open. NEC allows everybody to go there. You go and see. You hear them arguing. You could tell from his team of lawyers, you could tell. You didn't see that buoyancy in them, that enthusiasm. It's just moving around. Financial laws, the other people lost. Everybody, I think, look at the number of individuals being that legislature that lost. They're gone. They're sitting down. They have no time. They have to move on with their life. 18 years. 18 years. 18 years. So 2024, assume that he won the election. 2024, we are all the way, not 2024, but 2029. 2029. So 2029, he will want to contest again to go all the way to 2040, 2050. And man, you aging, you must die in office. The best place to die is not in office. The best place to die is out of office and everybody reference what you have done, that you serve here, you serve here, you serve here. No, you can't live your life that way. It's bad. So a man dying off it, that means he now want to move from there. They all kinds of things to stay there. You say, so no way to enjoy your life. That's the essence of work. When you work, you serve well, you earn, you experience your investment return, then you sit down now and give other people a chance and you move on with your life. You can serve as consultant and you enjoy your life. The greatest part of your life is where you can look back and say, I served this, I served that, and now I'm relaxed. I'm enjoying my life with my family. But you want to be there. No time to rest. All because of power and money. Oh, man. 18 years. 18 years. Too long a time. I can see why Nomino Batikwa is calling for the tenure for president and vice president and the legislature to go to 4 years, 6 years, because he feels that the overstay can lead to complacency, or when the years long, you can feel relaxed. Yeah, you can feel relaxed. Okay, so that will be doing it for that. Now he's using all kinds of means he can, but I don't think he will, because I heard that. That is why I raised that concern with the lawyer, that some of them, if not all, they're quick to give into dialogues. Most of the big guys in this country, they use money to manipulate a number of things. That is the reason I'm asking that question. So he's a no. He's not in it for money. As much as we can trust human being as a whole, but you have to respect people for what they say based on who they are and what they do. Their reputation is at stake in anything. So he said, no, he's not in it for money. but rather justice should be served. The man won the election. He should have his right to serve his country. Then, before I open the line, endorsements all over the place. Endorsements all over the place. The Coalition for Democratic Change is endorsing. Alexander Cummings is negotiating. The rest of the people. So Edith Gonglo Ware, Edith Gong, Gonglo. She is the biological sister of Chancellor Tiawan Gonglo and former superintendent, matriarch of Nema County. She will move to endorse President George Weah and the Coalition for Democratic Change.
As we prepare for that round of election, we want to make a decision that keeps the country stable and not veer off in the wrong direction yet again. That's why this decision is critically important to us. We do not given our country's troubling history of the underdevelopment, the civil conflict caused by bad political decisions and choices of leaders that we elect into power. We are further aware that elections do have consequences. It is for this reason, plus more, that we are compelled to make a public declaration of our choice so that our followers will know just where we stand on this critical national duty. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, friends of Edith Gonglo Ware, fellow citizens of our great country, members and officers of the great Congress for Democratic Change, after thorough consultations and assistance of the remaining candidates, we do hereby declare our unreserved support for the re-election bid of President George Weah of the Coalition for Democratic Change. We did not come to this decision overnight. We consulted with our supporters, my amazing husband and children, and well-wishers before coming to this conclusion. We critically looked at other prevailing variables before concluding that President Weah was a better choice in the pending runoff election. We hope that President Weah and his team will take our endorsement as a challenge to govern well when re-elected for his second term. Today, we call all of our supporters who believe in our judgment to join us in supporting President Weah to victory to complete all of his development agenda under the Pro Agenda for Development. We are resolved to robustly campaign the best way we know how throughout the length and breadth of our county and country to ensure President Weah's success.
Edith Gonglo were endorsing President George Weah in the runoff election slated for November 14. Let's see some of you who are following. Janje Wongwen, good afternoon to you. You are following from Johnsonville. Thank you so very much. Hygiene Man, thank you ever so much also. You are following from District 13, Matsumoto County. You also said that Buffer Chima should consider himself former speaker. Then James Colley. James Colley, thank you ever so much. You are following also. Thanks for the commendation. I appreciate it. Prince Chie Wanyo. Good afternoon. Thank you ever so much. You are following the show and on. The names are just running down. Thank you ever so much. So let's turn to you now. Have your say on Voice of Liberia, Bits and Pieces, Voice of Liberia, Monrovia 104.1, Voice of Liberia 89.7, Kakatama Gibi County, and Voice of Liberia, Bong 90.9 90.7. So you can log on to all our online radio also, www.voiceofliberiaradio.com. So we are on Voice of Liberia 104.1 Monrovia, Voice of Liberia 89.7 Kakata Magibi County, Voice of Liberia Bong 90.7, 0770-907-907, 0880-907-907. Yesterday we made it through at least 9 from 3. FC Barcelona. Okay, that's good. We're moving quietly, though it was tough. At a certain point in time, Barcelona became complacent, but at least we took the victory 2-1. Richard Jacob, thank you ever so much. You are following from Dwazon, Magibi County. Have your say now on 0770 907 907, 0770 907 907. It's your turn to have your say on the show. Bits and Pieces on Voice of Liberia 104.1, Monrovia, Voice of Liberia 89.7, Voice of Liberia 90.7. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. You are on the air, sir.
Welcome to the Voice of Liberia family, and good afternoon to the peace-loving people of Liberia. And this is the voice of Lawrence Quia. I'm the first step operations district Mana Youth League CC chapter of Masoro County. And hello.
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
Thank you for your talking points. And for one issue that I'm for screen to talk, but I think I have issues with two of your talking points this afternoon. One that has to do with the time frame that the Speaker has spent in the House of Parliament. That's one. And two, your conclusion, like you said in your intro, you have a discussion with the lawyer of Anthony. And to have a discussion with the lawyer of Anthony, and you are coming to the conclusion without waiting for the outcome of the case that is currently before the case or the court, meaning that you are concerned with what the lawyer of Anthony has said, because the lawyer of Anthony has said that there will be no way that for the Speaker of Bobo Chimon will have any case to be in his favor. So you have concluded that you don't think that the Speaker will have case in his favor. So in fact, the Speaker has stayed long in the issue of staying long in the House of Parliament is not because you're needing buffer or not because you are fun. You stay long in the House of Parliament because of the services that you have run up to the people. The Constitution abroad did not say that the House of Representatives will put for 5 years. It did not give a benchmark to serve in the House of Representatives. They say as long as you can serve, once the people you are serving, they stay enjoy your leadership. And for the Speaker to serve 18 years, that means that or shows that the people of Maryland County, specifically of particular district, has enjoyed the leadership of Bobo Chimon, and they stay enjoy the leadership of Chimon. And that's the reason why he has served at that level. And to conclude this, mind you that I am not.
Good afternoon. You talk too long, my man. I gave you chance. I gave you chance for you to make your position known. Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. And you?
I'm great. I give God the praise. Yeah, thank you for the show. You know, actually, there's a surprising news I heard. I'm very excited.
What is it? Yeah, I'm listening. Talk.
Yeah,
you are on it.
The name remain Israel Gideon, speaking for District 3. You know, actually, I was very praying God for that, and I just heard and I feel so happy. If all the president having to work along with that woman, I believe that this time around in Lima County, the president will get something good from there, which is Iwo Gongro. It's very important, and actually, I was praying God for that and for woman to endorse for CDC to endorse that woman. Actually, it's very important, but they shouldn't overlook her. She should have vote. Should have people that really believe in her. So if all the president work along with her, I believe that something good will come out of Lima County this time around.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much too for calling. Have a nice Thursday afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, God, Sam. My name is Alvin Dana, and I come from the UN draft. God, Sam, let me appreciate this afternoon for your beautiful talking point. Also, let me appreciate Almighty God for pumping breath into us, our voice to be heard.
But same when it comes to the former speaker, which is Papa Chimo, I strongly believe, I'm sorry to say this on the air, but it's a shame doing it. Because when you get yourself as a speaker, you know how many budgets coming to you every year, and so it's still surprising to see somebody who came from nowhere, which I know, like my how you call it, my fingertip. Because when they got the way I put the quarter, the way I put the quarter, then they see the media came back, the way they know, thank you, my people, that can be present, Chaba too, the whole capital building. You know, it's so surprising to people that Papa Chimo there. So still that, somebody who came from nowhere, the video, all of the money you play with, so you do nothing in that district, all of the 18 years to stay in power. Give the man chance so the man can show himself to
All
the
right,
people.
Alvin.
If the man show himself just for the thing that happened to government that feeling, you say you can go back to the same thing. Because they did not do government away again, be the same man. So wait for the 6th year, after the 6th year, you go show that simplicity. Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling, Alvin. Have a nice Thursday. 0770-907-907, 0880-907-907, and you are on Voice of Liberia 89.7, Voice of Liberia 90.7, Voice of Liberia 104.1, and the
Good
online
afternoon.
radio www.voiceofliberia.com. Good afternoon.
Yes. I think the second point they afternoon.
What is your name and where you've called from?
I'm Eddie Danjion, calling you from a resident at Bonafa, Musolado District.
Yeah, Eddie, you want to increase your volume so that everyone understands you well.
Yeah, I do call you from a resident at Bonafa, Musolado District 4.
Let us hear you.
Yeah. Yeah, quickly on the talking point the afternoon about the tenure of the I do agree with you that the government has still on, but there is no time frame limit. But let's say that Honorable Baba Chimo failed to have concluded to work in line. Taking me for now. Let's take it for example. My senator, Honorable Senator Prince Johnson, in going for 27 years. Let's say your good work as long as they wish, but because Chimo failed, the people that were left in Cavalry War. A friend chance to come in. But if you feel that way,
Chief, your line isn't encouraging. 0770-907-907, 0880-907-907, and you are on Voice of Liberia 89.7 Kakatama Gibi County, Voice of Liberia 104.1 Monrovia, Voice of Liberia Bong 90.7. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. You are on the air. Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing fine, sir. I'm doing fine. And you?
I'm doing pretty well.
Let us hear you.
My name is Tule Dawayi Tule, and I do join the conversation from Lokitown, Banita to be precise. What I want to discuss on Baltimore issue is that the people have made their decision to choose another person. Let the paper wait. We still win, we're getting government job. CDC, we win the election. We're still getting a job. We should not worry. Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling. Have a nice day. 0770-907-907, 0880-907-907. Let's see what is happening with Milton Bly. Who wants to kill him? Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Semaju.
Good afternoon. How are you?
This is Ma Wante calling from the CCC National Response Team.
Yeah, let's hear you, Mama.
Yeah, I want to thank you for your talking point this afternoon. I want to tell God thank you for the Congo work for putting our weight behind President Weah. I want to tell thank you. I want to tell the entire family thank you. But how getting behind our president, I know that from Lima County something good will come from them. So, Buffer Chimo, same and the way you were saying, let me tell you, we were come from Maryland. But from working more sense, the people of Maryland, but the problem on the even are not in Maryland, but I get people there. The people say, but watching more still on there. So let us try another person. The majority of our people in Solokan district, they say, but watching more still on there. So let us try another person.
Some of the people you reached to in Plibo-Southern district, they said that he did something, but he's still on there.
He's still on there. So they say, but another person. You see, so now you get the fire, but he gets to get about a person we are we will take them to up. So they get the say. Thank you this afternoon for your talking point.
Thank you for calling too. Have a nice day. 0770907-907, 0880-907-907. Good afternoon. Good
How are
afternoon.
you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Okay, this is Mama said Junior. I call you from Bombay.
Let's tell you how is bombing counted this afternoon.
For me, it's okay. God, thank you for the county.
So let's hear you.
The issue of Honorable Buffer Chima, he need to give way to the peace of this country. Precisely, if he had done well for the people of that county, I'm not too sure they will make that decision. He have faced in key era in government. So let him give way to the young men that win so that development can take over in that county. Please, I beg him. He been the speaker for this republic. And since he lose the election, thank God that his party is in the lead. We all praying that President Weah should be re-elected.
So what position you think he can accept if the case or the ruling went against him?
The man has served as chairman in this country. That should also be a retirement position. So I don't think, everywhere the president had a will and pleasure to find any other position for him, but that should be a retirement job. He have earned more money. Let him go and sit down. Let him give other people a chance to occupy in government position.
Thank you so much for calling. Have a nice day. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Andrew.
Good afternoon, sir.
And let me say good afternoon to the many listeners that are following your broadcast at this hour. The names are Eric Nisewu, careful wasting the circle of person of Maryland County. And I join your platform this afternoon for discussing. I'm a businessman, politician, businessman. Well, let me appreciate you for your serious talking point. But
if you turn businessman, then you should have nothing to do with politics. You should quit politics completely and just concentrate on business and everything about you, even your public address, business.
Yes, it's true that it's true. If I'm a businessman, but we are to follow the 20 national issue in our country too. My politicians and businessmen, so I still follow the issue very well. More especially when my country is on the small land. But let me appreciate for your talking point.
Which county you from?
I'm a person of Maryland County.
And you are support you support Buffer Chambers? You voted for him? You didn't?
No, I'm a person of Maryland County, but I reside in Monserrado County.
And you registered in Monserrado County and voted in Monserrado?
Yeah, I owe my loyalty when it comes to voting in Monserrado County, specifically in District 13.
Let's hear you.
Okay, to the issue quickly. Let me appreciate you all your serious talking point. So my attention is you all, the one that has to do with the former speaker, Buffer Chimo. You see, I think Buffer Chimo should not waste people's time around here that going to the court, going to NEC say he fear cheated. It's a complete disgrace to the former speaker, Buffer Chimo. Imagine your office, your budget, 2 times bigger than what the county budget. You hear all those money, all those years for 18 years, the people empower you. But Buffer Chimo said that the people from Maryland County, they are stupid. I'm not being trying to say the people are stupid. So you will just go, get a cartoon of money and go dish it out on the people. The people that know without winning Buffer Chimo, most small they ball. Imagine a speaker. Most small they ball go win election. Then you pass your answer the ball, they say you are cheated. Go to the working hotel, people are rolling up, people are buying water. It's just not disgrace. If I were Buffer Chimo, I would have gone so and get how myself. But perpetually they won't be living on the Liberian people. So at the end of the day, At the end of the day, they will be running and say they were cheated, they were cheated. It's all disgrace of poverty more. It's all disgrace with all the money you get. And
Thank,
at the end of the day, when you make that can't get inside dishing all money on the people.
thank you so much, Chief. Thank you so much, politician turned businessman. Have a nice afternoon. Thank you ever so much for spicing up the show. Can appreciate you the more. Jefferson KK, thank you for following. You just came up. So endorsements are all over the place. We've got 2 weeks to move to balloting. Negotiations are taking place by the Coalition for Democratic Change and Unity Party. At the same time, they are crisscrossing. The two are going simultaneously. They looking for support, they persuading, they begging, they putting some proposals on the table. Why they canvassing? Because the time is limited. There isn't much time left. It may seem, sorry, it may seem much, but not enough time left to crisscross the entire country. The runaround duration for campaign is very short. So it stands. You have to accelerate everything. So you have negotiations going. That negotiation is always led by the stand-up bearer, followed by the party's campaign manager, the spokesperson, just the strategic team. They sometimes they divide themselves to share the responsibility. As one team is canvassing on the side, the other team is canvassing, and negotiations are taking place. Who is leading the discussion? You have somebody who will lead its discussion. At this point in time, the chief negotiator for that political party to get endorsements or to get people supporting you is the standard bearer. At this point in time, the standard bearer cannot dedicate responsibility to another person to proxy. He sits on the table and lead the discussion as the chief negotiator. Now, you expect, let's take it this way, Cummings would not want to sit on the table with somebody lower, say the party spokesperson or the deputy spokesperson. No, Cummings wouldn't do it. Cummings will feel comfortable to sit on the table with President George Weah. So the other person will feel comfortable to sit on the table with Vice President Joseph Boakai. So the chief negotiator in these endorsements or persuasions, they stand up bearer. And the other people are here and there because the time is limited. Moreover, the message is not going to be different. CDC and Unity Party, they're not going to tell the people anything different. It's the same old thing because the people heard it. If they insert something new right now, the people will be thinking otherwise. The first one, he said they won. So why he's saying this now? If you watch President Weah's address, not much of a new address. The same thing, they just been metamorphosized. That means he just put them in different shapes and forms, but that's the same thing. Because what the people already know, if you put something new there, they will be thinking, say, oh, but the guy here, all the time we've been together, all the men been coming around, he said it in, why he saying they want now? They'll be having second thought. Say, oh, because only two persons in the race now, so he think that. So the message have to be the same. If either party tries to change the message, I can say to you, well, if it was another country, it's different. It's different. Don't Unity Party, CDC, you don't change the message. If you said, President George, we are built this, legislated this, passed this one, proposed the bill, constructed this, continue to say the same thing. If Unity Party in the first round said Joe Barker would do this, Joe Barker would do that, Joe Barker would do this. Say the same thing. Don't change the message. Second round, you don't change the message. If you change the message, it will be a pretense. It will be understood as faking. Second round, you don't change the message. The message remains the same. If I said in the second round, in the first round, Voice of Liberia Studio is blue. In the second round, I'll tell you Voice of Liberia Studio is blue. Because that's what you heard the first time. So why will I come and tell you the first time Voice of Liberia Studio is blue? Then I go back to you in the second round and say Voice of Liberia Studio is green. I'm confusing you. You want to stick to the same message you author told the people. You don't want to vacillate. When you start to vacillate, then suspicion will come in. Already, second round, there is strong voter apathy. There is strong voter fatigue. That means people, they say, but we tired, we voted the first round. Let the people go now. Let them do what they want to do. We can't, we already gave them our vote the first round. Some people will say, the way the election went, I understand it. The other one happened this way. The people say the other one, we tired. I ain't coming go suffer myself again. When the people get their money, then I all can eat it. With the rain, the tinted windshield, they can pop out all the way water on us. So at least I voted the first round, I sitting down. And that is why you see the enthusiasm isn't high as the first round. The enthusiasm isn't high. Second round, the enthusiasm can be high. No. It can be the atmosphere, it can be that bubbling. Look at the atmosphere. And you come outside like nothing happening. So people only waiting, voting. Those who want to vote, they vote. Those who already lost their cards, they ain't get anything to do it. They say, okay, we leave it. Solomon Morris, you are watching from where you are watching on Fish Market. That's Cinco. Thank you so much, Solomon Morris. Thank you for coming on. So all of those things will happen in the second round. Now, this is what I should talk about and close with it. That the National Elections Commission will not have to make this mistake. After the show yesterday, I took up time to speak to some people indirectly to find out. And the question was, have you ever voted? Have you ever experienced in the elections in Liberia, if you ever voted, that you got ink? You got ink before going to cast your ballot? And some people said no. Many people, the survey was as simple. Many said no. Few said yes. And those who said yes in very, very minute number, they reference 2023. But honestly, I've never experienced that. All the time, all the elections I voted in, I cast the ballot, and then the inking. So next said, because somebody noticed that, it brought confusion, they took it to NEC office, or they took it to the chairman when she was announcing the last day of the provisional results. And she found it difficult. She was fumbling. She herself. Sorry, you people weren't there. But when the question went, you could tell that her countenance had changed. She was wondering. One, either she wasn't in the know, that it was new to her. Two, that she had always been accustomed or used to have inkling after casting the ballot. So hearing that, she was confused. And then she said, well, have a listen to it. Then she brought on two, Commissioner Pagba and another guy, to explain it to the people, to say, okay, let the people, you're explaining to the people because they think they question the person, the journalists ask. It's strange to me. Inkling before a ballot, Have a listen to her.
You say people purchasing voter cards?
There are reports of that.
There are reports. So
No, sorry. Let me get it. Sorry. This is not it. So she called Pangba, Basi Pangba. He fumbled. Then she called this technical man. Here is it.
The reason why we ink before you cast your vote, because when you cast your vote, that's the last aspect of the process, and you have to leave the center. And the time you would take to drop your ballot into the ballot box, the ink have dry. And when the ink dry, it's a situation that indeed you have voted. And the staff will monitor you while you are putting your ballot into the ballot box. Now the issue that you want to raise will be the stain. The stain will not affect the mark that person has placed on the ballot paper. No, it will not mark. Because once the ink is placed on your finger, it takes less than 2-3 seconds to dry. If the ink is placed for instance, on the ballot paper, the mark of that person, the intent of that person is known by the presiding officer. So it does not amount to invalid vote. It does not amount to invalid vote.
please, hold on, please. Hello? Hello? Yes, please. Please, can we just have it quiet, and then if you understand the question a little better and you want to say something about it, you can go ahead. All right, thank you very much. Let's have one of our technical staff, who's the deputy for administration, share a little more light on this. Go ahead, Mr. Cole.
The reason why we ink before you cast the ballot nowadays is that some people refuse to get inked. And once you shall have cast your ballot, there's no way that we have a remedy. So that's the reason why we say before you cast it, you are inked so that you don't return. And we agree with what you said, but during the training, we will see what to do to make sure that the ink does not spill. From our experience, people get inked after they cast their ballot, but in the past, some people cast their ballot, you say, come, let's ink you. They say, no, you can't ink us. What do you do in that case? You cannot withdraw the ballot from the box. So that's the main reason why we have transitioned from inking after casting to inking before casting. I hope you understand.
In other words, we thank you for that recommendation, and we'll look into it.
Guys are interesting. It is one of the reasons people suspected that NEC was doing a number of things. I brought this out so that they don't do it in the runoff. The tradition had been cast the ballot and ink. That's how it has always been. And that aspect has never, ever caused problem. That technical man did not explain the truth. What research they did, and they realized that people were refusing to allow or to be inked. Who in his or her self will go cast the ballot, come and say you are refusing to be inked? No. You can ink me. You can place the ink on my finger, and I take the ballot, or I pull it right side you are gone. Because the guy said that from their investigation in the past, some people will go when they finish balloting, time to ink them, they will refuse. How is that? You have people all over the place. The person went to vote. I think next you have said that we decided to experiment this. Be like the web people. When they bring out idea, they will tell you we're experimenting it. You use the 4-bus star. You don't confuse the people. NEC too can create confusion in this whole election business. That's why most of the time the chairman of the National Elections Commission will go and start giving cheek. Many times her press conferences was characterized by cheek. So people are suspecting that she and her commissioners were doing certain things fishy, but they weren't. But the way you respond, You say you conducted investigation. So if you conducted that survey, then what did you do? You sensitized the people ahead. This 2023 elections, we will be inking before balloting. Then the people will know the same way they did less voter education and expected a huge turnout, and that huge turnout turned out to substantial destruction of ballot paper called invalid votes, because people didn't know what to do. She admitted in one of the interviews, she said, oh, maybe, the ballot paper are so long, so the people are finding it hard to identify their candidates. You don't do it. You have people, you have party representatives. You have everybody there. You people are controlling. So if somebody finish, all you have to do is they set up in a way that the person goes back. That's what we have all along knew. And that's how I went. I went there in the room that I voted. They gave me the papers. After searching for my name, every other information, they found it. And then I went. They gave me the paper. They folded the paper and gave it to me, and they identified. They said, this one presidential, this one senator, this one representative, good education. So when I got through, I went. Right there, the lady is right there. She was right side the booth, but she wasn't looking in because it was a bit far. I said right side, and I had to close. And then she got ready to ink my finger, the thumb. She put a little, and I said, no, spray it all over. That is the reason for it. Don't manage it. Because when you come out, that's how people know that you voted. You don't do that, my neck will beg you. You don't do that inkling before casting ballot. You'll cause confusion. About when we go there, we just take it and chunk it. You don't do that. You're experimenting too much. Too much. The election, you're experimented. You stop. You can experiment, but announce it ahead of time. Be like UEFA and FIFA. They will tell you that next season we will be doing this, we will be doing that. So all of the coaches, the football teams, everybody, they get ready. So when it starts, they're already aware. They know what to do because they were informed prior to. But in Liberia, they should just do and accept. Expect everybody to accept. When you raise question, then they give you cheek. Let's see you, man. Thank you ever so much. Let's see. Solomon Moritz, thank you. You're following from Fish Market. We identify you earlier. Who is following before we go? Willem Sumon Wulu. You are following from New York, Staten Island. Thank you so much. Hope that you are faring well from where you are, the United States of America. Ferdinand Hina Jr., you are following from your office in Sinker, Mutual Benefits Assurance Office in Sinker. Thank you ever so much. I appreciate. Andrew Pukuyu, you are following, you didn't say where, but you are a fan of JNB. Thank you ever so much, all of you spies of the show. Let's do it tomorrow. Join us on tomorrow on Voice of Liberia 104.1, Morovia, Voice of Liberia 89.7, Kakatamagibi County, and Voice of Liberia 90.7, Bung. My name is Sam Andrews, and this is Bits and Pieces. Shalom.
Don't trouble nothing too much, you know. One, two, three, I'm having six, I'm missing you. I love you. I'm missing you. I want you back. Long time no see. Out your love, I'm lonely. I miss you. And it's too hard to bear. What have you done to me? I'm waking up in the middle of the night without you. And it's so unfair. The hits just keep on coming.
On 104.1 FM, Voice of Liberia.
Are you tired with slow internet? Do you want super fast and affordable internet? Telecel Liberia is here to provide all your internet service needs. The internet is moving at a fast pace, and only super fast internet speed can help you keep up. At Telecel, our internet packages are divided into distinct categories: Mega, Optimal, Premium, Elite, and Big Business that suits kids, universities, schools, hotels, beaches, homes, offices, urban areas, and much more. Anything is possible with Telecel Liberia. Get your own streaming box for Netflix, Amazon Prime, Showmax, and more. At Telecel, our amazing 24-hour customer service is there to help you with all your needs. Telecel Liberia, super fast speed, 24 hours technical support team, the best broadband and fiber optic internet service in Liberia. For more information, please call 0770-399-399 or 0881-399-399. Or stop by our office on 3rd Street, Syncor, opposite the Carter Center and GLZ building. Visit our website, telecelliberia.com. Email us at info@telecelliberia.com. Telecel Liberia, the best internet service provider, is here for you. Telecel Liberia, connecting the unconnected.
I want to flex my love. I want to flex.
Aduma giving you a big brain. I won't borrow. Cabe da pira gomna bo. Be oni awuri ponche joawe. Okay. Da pira oni gomna bo. Be oni awuri che pampopo joawe. Okay, da pira gomna bo nyobe oni a kone ni gomna be okunye. Wala wana dedi do pinza. Ke wani